wait, stop, because maybe this video is for you. This video is about how heartache is a choice and the role that we play in the relationships that we have and in our love life. So this video is for you if you are a certified lover boy, certified lover girl, but you still have struggle relationships. If you have the mentality that men or women ain't it, this is for you. If you keep wondering if you should cut off the opposite race, the opposite gender, the opposite any type of like category that you can put a person into, this is for you. Unless that category is like, oh, I won't date narcissists, this is for you. If you think that you aren't toxic but you just keep getting into toxic relationships, this is for you. Anyway, let's get into the video. I was about to say, let's get into the relationship. Let's get into the video. So the first part of this video is that heartache is a choice, okay? So when you get into a relationship, in any relationship, I'm really talking about like love life right now, but it can apply to family, friends, etc. So when you get into any relationship, that relationship is a reflection of the relationship you have with yourself. So if it's a friendship and you guys go out, you go gardening, gardening is always my example, but you go out, you go gardening, you go shopping, you know, whatnot. That relationship is a reflection of your joy for nature, and you know, like it's a reflection of that, your love for self. If it's healthy, healthy relationships are a reflection of your ability to love yourself and have good standards and have healthy boundaries and have healthy communication, and your ability to express yourself emotionally and be emotionally intimate and open and honest and receptive of that as well. Like that's healthy things, you know. Your love languages match in friendships and in relationships, and this can be something that you've spoken about or something that just naturally happens. Unhealthy relationships, when you start to get into like, oh, they were abusive, they yelled, they were emotionally manipulative, they were physically manipulative, they were controlling, they were crazy, which crazy people are out there. Crazy people are out there. They were emotionally distant. They were focused on the wrong things, like always focused on sex and not focused on trying to get to know you, or always focused on trying to get to know you but not able to fulfill you in the bedroom. Like the imbalances, or they weren't able to communicate. You see how every time I say this I'm saying they, like every single thing that happens in it could be unhealthy, or it could just be like a relationship that wasn't the best for you, but everything that happens in a relationship that doesn't meet up to your standards also has to do with you. So if they have trouble communicating, what did you do while in that relationship to help them understand how to better communicate with you? What did you do while in that relationship to help them understand how to better fulfill you, you know, behind closed doors? What did you do in the relationship to help them understand that even though behind closed doors you were fulfilled, you needed more emotional intimacy, you wanted to understand them on a deeper level? What did you do to help them understand that your love language was this, and that this would be communicated or expressed better if your partner did these things? What role did you play in your lack of fulfillment? So that's the first thing. Heartache is a choice. They always play a role, but at the same time, we also play a role as the opposite partner. And if it's polyamory, then, you know, as one of the opposites, which communication is especially important in polyamory, but as one of the opposites, we also play a role in how we come across in that relationship and what we're willing to do to make that relationship work. Also, for manipulative or abusive or narcissistic relationships, or someone with narcissistic tendencies, it's also important to recognize where those tendencies are coming from, because not everybody is a narcissist. Some people are actually narcissists, but a lot of people just have narcissistic tendencies that stem from unhealed trauma from their own childhood and their own relationships with their parents and family that they express in their relationship with you, because maybe you're a narcissistic enabler and maybe you have people-pleasing tendencies. Maybe you don't love yourself enough to set clear boundaries and stand on those boundaries, so whenever you get around this narcissist or this person with narcissistic traits, they feel like they can put all those narcissistic traits on you because you don't stand up for yourself. And now, instead of having a relationship where you challenge them to be better and they feel like they're safe to express their emotions and heal those traumatic parts of their past, they feel like they have to cling on to those traumatic parts of their past and express that further with you and even further with you because you allow it, and you're behind closed doors in intimate settings with them where they're allowed to be their absolute worst self, which you should be allowed to be your worst self with somebody, but relationships break you down to build you up. So if you ain't breaking them down, how are you going to build them up? Or how do you expect to just build them up if you don't break them down first? And that's what boundaries. Anyway, back to what I was saying. When you get into a relationship, you play a role. So understand what role they play, and then understand what role you play in relationship with that. They did A, you wanted B, so you did C. They did C, you wanted A, so you did B. Understand the matrices of your relationships, because you can't just be an innocent bystander in that. You can't just be I just watched the relationship happen and did the same thing I do in every relationship. Surprise Pikachu face that it didn't work. Like, there's always something that you can do to get better. And if you're not doing what you can do to get better at the end of the relationship, then you're going to get into another relationship with the same... Sorry. I'll, with the same person, and then be all confuzzled and confused when it doesn't work out again. They play a role, you play a role. Second thing is closure isn't real. I used to really believe that at the end of relationships, I would be like, oh, I really want to give them closure. I really want to make sure that like everything is ending on a good note and that there are no loose threads. I really cut down and like expressed exactly how I felt and exactly what I felt like could have been improved on both of our ends. I was very upfront and I was very aware of myself and of what I can do to get better, and I wanted to let them know what they could do better, but not in like a harmful way, just because I wanted us both to go on to have healthier, happier love lives. And I just didn't want to leave with any questions because I felt like that's not right. Boy, was I wrong. But, and I'm not to say that that's a bad thing, because that can be healthy. But sometimes closure is just a drawn out expression of unexpressed emotions. Which, I mean, that kind of is what it is. But like, closure is sometimes you asking for the way I view it. Now, I view closure as asking for validations for the feelings and the conclusions that you've already reached that you just want extra validation on. Like, closure is like when the universe or spirit tells you to do something, or God, whatnot. Excuse me, confirmation burp. Anyway, the closure is like when you ask, excuse me, for something to happen, and you're like, okay, God, like, okay, universe, okay, spirit, are you sure? And then you get a sign and you're like, okay, are you sure though? Are you sure for sure? Like, if you're really, really sure, like, send me a bird. And then you get a bird and you're like, okay, I know I got this bird, but like, this time send me a worm, like a squirrel, like a butterfly, a bird. I don't know, like, send me something else. Like, that's what I think closure is now. I think closure is when you know that something is wrong for you, and not even like in a bad way, but you know that something has reached its end. And you know that the next step that afterwards you have to do the next step, which could be getting distance from them, which could be not hanging out with them as much so that you can reestablish a new relationship boundary, a new relationship status. It could be blocking, deleting their number, or it could be, okay, this relationship, this chapter of our relationship has come to an end. In our next relationship, since we're just gonna do this instead, or since our friendship has ended, and we're going into a relationship, you have to make those next steps. And so sometimes closure is like when you know that you're about to need to do something And it's like, okay, but I still have questions. Like, but I'm still, like, I still this, I still that. Like, no, you know what you need to do. Stop making excuses. Do you really need the answers to those questions, really, from them and not from yourself? Like, you don't already know, but you just want them confirmed. Like, you don't. And if you're one of those, I ramble a little bit, so this is the last thing I'm saying is, some people are the kind of people that like to really analyze every single aspect of a relationship so that they know going forward exactly how to handle that situation in the future. Cool. Do that, you know? Dig deep, find the answers, move on, do better. Awesome. Just make sure that when you're doing that and you're moving on and you're doing better, if it's not a healthy person, that you don't get pulled back in. Or that you don't go get closure and use closure as an excuse to still be around somebody who isn't good for you. If they're not bad for you and you just need some answers, go get your answers. Go help you sleep at night. Okay. Because everybody's different, so take what resonates, leave what does not. Moving on. Your relationship with love decides your love life. So, and I posted about this like a week or two ago. Do you think that do you believe in love? Do you think that you deserve love? Do you believe in the love that you believe in for other people? Do you believe in that for yourself? Like, I could say, and I posted about this, but I had a moment where I was like, I know that love exists, and I know that love is real, and I know that other people can find love, but I don't think that I can find love. Like, I don't think I can find the same love that other people can find, because I don't think I've met myself deeply enough to deserve that. And then I had to sit back and realize that I have the capacity to love, and I do deserve a love as deep and enriched as what I've seen, and more, and what I know I can do, and what I know I can receive, and more. And I have met myself extremely deeply. And just because I don't 100% understand every single aspect of me doesn't mean that I don't deserve love. It just means that I'm human. It just means that I'm always going to be working on myself just like anybody else. And just because I'm not perfect doesn't mean I'm not worthy. Now you. So your relationship with love will impact your relationships with others, your love life. If you don't love yourself, you will attract someone who will force you to love yourself. And it might not be pretty. If you love others more than you love yourself, you will attract someone who will allow you to love them more than you love yourself. And if you're okay with that, then okay, but you might be like really drained at the end of it. So look at your relationship with love, and also look at how your relationship to love influences your personal boundaries and your limits. And it's okay to have limits in relationships. Like, it's a good thing. If you didn't have limits in relationships, you would pour your cup until it was empty, and you can't pour from an empty cup. That's that. I already spoke about, I have like a little list just in case I get distracted and start rambling. So my next thing is you choose your abuse, which that's what I just kind of spoke about, like the relationships that you get into are a reflection of something internal. So the last thing is to go and do better. So I know that this video was kind of like a big rant a little bit, and in like a positive way, because I read cards, y'all, and when I read people, I don't hold back. I be going off on them, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry, personally, if you have purchased a reading for me and I read you for filth. I'm sorry. But it helped you, didn't it? Okay. So last thing is you can do better. So go do better. The Certified Lover Boy, the Hopeless Romantic Society. Okay. The Certified Lover Boys, the Certified Lover Girls, the Hopeless Romantics, people who listen to Drake, people who be at nighttime just talking to the moon, talk about have you ever loved somebody so much it makes you cry? But those people, this love thing, like this deep, beautiful relationship, this black love or Latina love, like, you know, all kinds of love, but that exist. And I think sometimes we get used to saying that things on social media don't exist, so that must not exist either, but that does exist. And it may not exist in as much of like a hallmark glorified way. Like, yes, there are arguments. Yes, you may meet the love of your life and they may leave their freaking socks all up over the floor, everywhere, all day, every day. Like, yes, maybe you may meet someone who buys you flowers every week, keeps your gas tank full, doesn't let you touch the trash or open a door, ladies. Or men, you may meet someone when you get home from work and she's running to the door to take your shoes off. Like, come here, baby, let me take your shoes off. I know it's been a long day. The dinner is ready. Dinner is cooked. I got you your beer. You know, how's your back feeling? You need a back massage. You may meet that. You may meet don't even worry about it. I know you had a long day. Let me run your bath water. Like, you may meet, you know, those people, they exist. They exist. But that's not to say that they won't also irritate you. That's not to say that they won't also leave the toilet seat up. We may wake up, her wig is, you wake up thinking that you're gonna touch her, and it's just the wig. It's just the cap, you know? It's just, you may wake up I'm trying to think of like pet peeves that women do. I still have some healing to do because I just can't think of how I could be annoying. But I know I am, so like, but y'all don't need to know that. I gave enough examples. Anyway, that love exists, and that's the point of this. That love exists. It may not be perfect because nothing is perfect, and especially not love because love is chaotic in nature, but that's the beauty of it, is the chaos that it provides and the chaos of growth and creativity and like creation that it provides. But it is chaotic, like, let's not lie, but it exists. So if you have that desire for something so wholesome and so organic and so beautiful, then make sure that your relationship to love and your relationship to yourself is always growing towards being as wholesome and beautiful as the love life that you desire. And make sure that your boundaries and your standards reflect the love that you're bringing in for yourself. Because if you desire that, but your boundaries and your standards don't match up to that, like, sorry, I just saw my reflection, and it needs some lip gloss. And that's on self-love. Anyway, so make sure that the boundaries and standards that you have for your relationships reflect what you desire in your love life. Because if you don't have those things set up, then whenever someone comes in, you're just going to end up either A, settling, or B, taking more of your time and your emotional capacity to understand whether or not they're there for you or not. And personally, I think it's easier to just know off the bat, based on the standards that I already have, whether or not someone's going to be worth my time, than investing myself into something and ignoring the things that I wouldn't want to be married to, just so that when I get married, I can be like, oh, I don't want it. Like, I don't want that. All I'm going to say is, if you feel like you have to fight for the bare minimum, then he ain't the one and she ain't the one. You should not have to fight for somebody to spend $5 to $7 on a drink for you. You should not have to fight for someone to spend 10 to 15, maybe 20. If you go to an expensive restaurant, you know, that's on y'all. But if you're just out to like a normal, like a chill place, maybe $15 for a plate, you know, are you not worth $15? Are you not worth 3 5s and some change? Like, because if someone isn't willing to drop that for you, then what makes you think that they're going to buy you flowers? And same, like, it works vice versa. If it's your man's birthday and, you know, I don't know how they feel about gifts, but if it's your man's birthday and you're not, you know, buy him some flowers. Buy him some new matching socks. If his underwear is not looking crisp and clean and brand new, buy him some new underwear. It could be Polo, Calvin Klein, doesn't have to be Gucci. He don't have to be walking around with Gucci stripes on his butt, but like, you know, if he needs a new underwear, buy him some new underwear. If his watch is like, you know, he has a new watch, but doesn't quite fit 100%, go get his watch resized. Go, if she has a favorite necklace and it's broken and she's been talking about it, because, you know, everybody drops hints. If she has a favorite necklace and it's broken, she's been talking about that broken necklace, go get her necklace fixed. You don't have to buy her a new one. Go get her some new earrings. Go get him a handkerchief. Go get him some, what's it called? Those, like, things that they put on their long sleeve shirt. Cufflinks. Happy birthday, whoever is struggling to find a gift. You can't see this one. Oh, yes you can. Okay. See? One of them is 50, one of them is 25. It's not possible for me to tell you how to love you and how to love others in a way that's going to make them accept it and receive it. You need to trust yourself and listen to yourself enough to do what you know needs to be done in your relationships. And also have boundaries and trust yourself to set and enforce those boundaries so that at the end of the day, you end up on the side of the road that you want to be on and not always looking across the street. Okay? That's it. Bye. If you enjoyed this video, if this video helped you at any way, in any way, at any point, go ahead and drop a like down below so that I know that you like this video. And so that I know that the algorithm told you that you like this video. So I know to make more videos like this, maybe, I don't know. Comment down below something that really helped you. And drop a green heart if you made it this far. Or you can drop like hashtag certified lover boy, hashtag certified lover girl. Because I'm trying to see some. But I just want to know. Subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. That's it. Now if you keep watching, it's because you want to know extra information and not because you want to watch whatever next video is on the sides here. So since you're still here, I did write a book. I am an author. If you want to see my author page, it's at inhaleexhalebook.com. I will have some merch coming out in the future. I will start doing merch when this channel hits 100 subscribers. Because I have so many ideas that I'm so excited about, but anyway, inhaleexhalebook.com. You'll see my first workbook out. My first workbook is a sexual assault healing and trauma recovery workbook. The one after that is to be announced, but I'm working on a lot of shadow work, inner work, workbooks, and things of the such. And I also do poetry, so if my poetry books are out, then check them out. If they're not out yet, then now you guys know. Thanks for watching. Bye.